following program contains mature subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
Season 4 finalist Ellie dies at 19 and second Fishtank star death confirmed this week. Second this week? Who was the other one? I saw this one on Twitter, but what the fuck? Who was the other one? I remember this lady. I remember her being fun on Fishtank. Fishtank Season 4 finalist Ellie has died at the age of 19. Her sister confirmed on July 16th. Ellie, whose real name was Eleanor Moon, entered the Fishtank house at 18 and was the first contestant introduced during Season 4. She remained on the show until its abrupt conclusion on day 18, becoming one of 6 finalists who each received $8,000 from the Dividend Grant Prize. Her sister revealed that Ellie died in May of 2026, but said friends and relatives had been asked to keep the news private, while the family grieved away from online rumors and speculation. Confirmation makes Ellie the third former Fishtank participant publicly known to have died. It is also the second cast death announced this week, following Season 5 freeloader Susie Smalls, who died on July 13th. What the fuck? Why? Poor Kay! Wasn't Ellie the shy one in this? Yeah, she was the shy one. Ellie's sister says Fishtank was a highlight of her life. In her statement, Ellie's sister confirmed that she died by suicide and directly rejected speculation that her appearance on Fishtank or her relationship with members of its production team had contributed to her death. Ellie's sister here. First and foremost, yes, my sister passed away in May. We asked friends and family to keep it quiet for a few personal reasons, and also so we could mourn privately without the internet going apeshit with rumors and speculation. Of course, I missed some internet privacy precautions in my constant state of grief, so now it's out. It's okay though, I mean it's been long enough. Let me be clear, Jet, Fishtank, and the whole thing had nothing to do with her taking her life. In fact, they were the highlight of her life. Never have I seen her more excited and ecstatic about life than during and after being on the show. To clear some other things up as well, she sent in her audition tape in July when they needed a last-minute replacement, and within days she was off to the show. She was not 17 when that happened. She omitted a lot of information about herself, so you can put a sock in it about that. I know I don't have to explain anything to anyone, but I'd rather do this than read horrible, endless speculation and gossip about her. Based and true. She didn't OD, she wasn't using drugs, she was on SSRIs, and possibly had an undiagnosed mental illness we didn't catch in time. Ellie had a troubled childhood, we both did. I did my best for Ellie, and I definitely could and should have done more. But you don't think about that until it's too late, right? Like I've said before, there isn't anyone to blame, but if there was, I blame our mother. I'm not going to get into it, but she was the cause of all our problems. Relatable. Ellie was suicidal since she was a child. This didn't start after she met Jet or went on Fishtank. The Fishtank crew has been nothing but supportive and helpful during this time, while they themselves have been grieving too. I know internet culture is sick, but hoping for someone to end their lives too, or baiting people into it by blaming them for someone else's choice to end their life is evil and sick and demonic, and I won't stand for it. That's kind of crazy. Is she implying that, like, people were telling, like, Jet to kill himself over this? That's insane, dude. That is actually insane. I wasn't, you know, involved for very long, but, like, the people I talked to from the Fishtank crew, they were also, like, just incredibly kind the whole time. Fishtank viewers aren't good people either. I could see that. Jamaican illegal immigrant with 3 rape charges scooped up by ICE Boston in Hyannis. ICE Boston hauled a Jamaican illegal immigrant off the streets of Hyannis this week, a man with a prior domestic violence conviction who's now awaiting trial on 3 counts of rape. The Enforcement and Removal Operations Boston Field Office announced the arrest of Altaman Peterkin. I can't see anything with kin in the name without thinking of Pipkin Pippa. Who is this Peterkin? Agents took him into custody during targeted operations on Cape Cod, according to the agency. Peterkin's criminal history includes a conviction for assault and battery on a family or household member, ICE Boston said, and he's been arraigned on 3 counts of rape. The agency did not disclose the date or venue of the arraignment or whether Peterkin was in the community awaiting trial when ICE picked him up. The agency's post trailed off mid-sentence after listing the rape charges, suggesting additional charges may exist that were not enumerated. And the post from ICE Boston just says they've arrested Altaman Peterkin, a criminal illegal alien from Jamaica. Peterkin's criminal history includes convictions for assault and battery of a family member, and he's been arraigned for 3 counts of rape. The Peterkin arrest is the latest in a series of ICE Boston targeted operations across Massachusetts, including recent takedowns in Brockton, Lawrence, and Boston. These are, like, the least surprising names they ever could have said. Like, if they had hit me with, like, a, fucking, oh god, Boxford, I'd have been like, how the fuck did he get there, you know? How the fuck is he in Hyannis, though? Shit's so expensive down there. probably living in like a multi-home with a bunch of other people. Maybe like a homeless shelter, who knows. The illegals seem to be very well taken care of though, so. Lawrence, they got Pipkin Pinna's brother Peterkin. Was Fillion not enough? The rape cod is real. Jesus. The Cape Cod pickup pushes ICE Boston's enforcement footprint into a region that has, in recent months, seen an uptick in illegal immigration-related arrests as the agency ramps up nationally. Peterkin is now in federal custody pending removal proceedings. Cape Cod is very much like Martha's Vineyard, where they're just like, yeah, not in my backyard, buddy. You guys can have the illegals. We can't have them. So it's gonna be very interesting to see the local reaction to that. Did I see the chart about mass spending something like 45% of all tax revenue? Yeah, I think it's actually higher than 45. It was like nearly 50% though. And I was like, that is insane. That is insane.
The following program contains cringe. Viewer discretion is advised.
I have some weird streamer shit, and I'm probably perpetuating giving them views by even watching these, but I have no idea what the fuck is going on in normie streaming anymore, man.
W snitch.
My name is Suki Mellow, and I'm a pretty odd fellow. At least that's what they say.
Coach him.
Yep, I'll be the cringiest and the craziest anime girl, and I'll wreak havoc while also being kawaii.
Okay. Oh, hey!
Give me a head pat, master.
What the? No. Don't call me master.
Oh.
Don't call me master.
Senpai Kai.
Okay.
Senpai.
Okay. Listen, I seen your video.
Yes.
On stalking Jason.
What? I would never do that.
Okay, I'm just saying. What's that sound?
I don't know.
Okay. If he reports to SUPD, he could put a restraining order on your ass. So just be cool, be calm, okay?
Hey.
If you love him, cool. Do your thing. Wait, that's you play that music?
It's just my ambience.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my ambience right there. Let me go ahead. All right, tell me your chat. Tell me your Suki Mellow.
Yes, Suki Mellow.
Suki Mellow.
Suki Mellow.
Here you go.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's just like, them white bitches crazy. What the fuck? That's an Asian chick, never mind.
This lineup is stacked. Everybody spam stacked.
So it's just like, see, this is why I like being a VTuber, right? Because when you're a VTuber, you can do all of that like, oh no, I'm a kitty maid. And it's still cringe, right? But it's less cringe because you're a virtual individual. But when you see someone do that, like in their real flesh persona, it partially takes me back to like the better times of 2007. But it's also like, man, this bitch would be a terrible flesh streamer, but an amazing VTuber. She's in the wrong sphere.
But wait, there's more.
Suki Mellow eats her master's love juice.
Pardon?
I don't know if I like the cereal. It doesn't taste too good, but since my senpai did make it, I suppose it's actually the most delicious thing I've ever tasted. And what is this creamy substance in here? Is that what I think it is? Is that my master's love juice? Yeah. Fine, I guess that means that this is the best meal I've ever had.
Chat, if she was doing this with a VTuber avatar instead of her flesh suit, she would have like 1 million subscribers, dude. She would be like bigger than Fillion, and you can't tell me I'm wrong.
Cocoa Puffs are better. Cocoa Puffs are better.
She even does the thing that I do, where you just randomly fucking moan for no reason. She got that VTuber shit on lock, bro. Porn star level acting just sounds like an average fucking slice of life anime character. Cenat kicked Suki Mellow out of his meeting with her after she rizzed him up and asked him to homecoming.
Next.
Fuck.
Hi, Kai-san.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm so happy to see you.
Okay, talk to me.
Okay, so I don't really know why I'm here, but like, I did have a question I wanted to ask you.
What?
I wanted to ask you since, you know, homecoming is coming and all. Will you be my homecoming king? Please, be my king.
Now he's the Nyan Nyan kitty maid!
Isn't he so cute? Kitty Cenat.
Sit down.
I'm going aside.
How old are you?
You want the real answer?
Real answer.
21.
21 years old.
Yeah.
Acting like you're God, acting like you're 3.
Okay, and that's like a wash joke. Is that really the best you got, bro?
You what?
That's the best thing you got? That's a wash joke.
I don't want to go to homecoming with you. I'm the dean. You're my student.
Well, maybe that's okay. Maybe.
And you want to ask Jason.
She's unironically trying to do an anime plot in the middle of his, like, normie streamer university. She would be an amazing VTuber. Like, bar none, she should switch. She should stop being a flesh streamer. She should stop going to Streamer U. She should get a fucking model. And she should be a VTuber. She's a great shit poster. Yeah.
That's not real. That's propaganda. That's AI.
Okay, so ask Duke Dennis.
How about I ask you, and I just have to win your heart even harder because you're my little Cenat, and I'll do whatever it takes to make you mine. Is that rich?
I love just the absolute confusion and partial disgust on this man's face. It's so beautiful.
Chat.
Get out of my office.
Okay, bye. I love you, Kai. I'll be thinking about you tonight.
Ref. Do something, man.
She's a better voice actress than 99% of voice actresses in anime today. True. Very fucking true.
Next.
Kai-sama, you've just doomed her to having to ask a Goyim to the homecoming. How could you do this? Kai gave her nothing to play off of. He's like, when someone comes in like that, yeah, the stunned reaction can be funny, but like, you gotta do something, man, you know? This is a one-sided Tsukomi and bokeh routine. You can't convince me otherwise. The cringe is utterly unfathomable. Did I see Soulja Boy beefing with Kai because he didn't get invited? Yeah, fuck Soulja Boy, though. He's a fucking weirdo. What the heck? Crosses the line so much, it loops back around to being incredible. Pretty much. He literally jingled keys. He's just like, I don't know what to do with this weird Asian bitch. What the fuck? Microsoft faces mass calls to fire former FBI agent Nikki Floris if they are to keep their federal contracts, after President Trump declassified shocking files exposing Floris for admitting to running a shadow government, withholding crucial info from Trump that China meddled in our elections. This is absolutely someone who should not only be tried for treason, but should not be allowed any kind of actual position in a company ever. Like, her life should be putting the fries in the bag at this point. Microsoft still holds a federal contract with the United States, which allows them to control the entire cyber infrastructure of the federal government on the Microsoft government Azure platform, which China/the CCP has penetrated as they continue hiring deep state Trump haters. I hate that Laura Loomer's the one writing this because, like, I don't really trust Laura Loomer's dirty bloomers, but since I read this independently of her, I know that this is real. Following the declassification of documents last night, which proved China and the CCP illegally interfered in the 2020 presidential election to make sure it was stolen from President Trump, it was revealed that U.S. intel agents helped the CCP and China cover this up and kept this information away from President Trump deliberately and maliciously. It can be said with 100% certainty that Microsoft hired Nikki Floris, the FBI analyst, who bragged about running a shadow government inside the FBI in 2020 to keep this intel away from President Trump. Despite the damning and seditious information being revealed in newly released and declassified documents, Microsoft hired Floris to work as the director of insider risk at Microsoft. If you have someone openly bragging about running a shadow government inside the FBI and withholding pertinent information from the President of the United States, why in the fuck would you make them a director of insider risk? It's her! She is the insider risk! What are you doing? Michigan's Democrat Attorney General reported industrial-grade voter fraud to the Biden DOJ, and nothing was done about it. Michigan State Police even raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote group and was so concerned that they contacted the FBI in 2020, but it was brushed under the rug under Biden. Biden was complicit.
The fourth set of documents reveals that even when significant evidence of fraud has been detected, it has been buried and covered up. Among the disclosures tonight are FBI files detailing evidence of alleged fraud by a large-scale voter registration operation in Michigan. In 2020, Michigan State Police raided a Democrat Get Out the Vote organization, corrupt group in Muskegon. And we're so concerned by what they found. They were just so concerned, they couldn't believe it, actually, that they contacted the FBI in Detroit. The documents state that some canvassers admitted to FBI agents that they signed voter registration forms in other people's names, submitted fraudulent registration for people who did not exist, and received gift cards tied to their number of applications that they produced. In other words, it was pay, play, and cheat. The FBI agents working on the case believe that crimes were committed, yet the Biden Department of Justice slow-walked the investigation and killed it. Tonight, I'm asking the FBI director to ensure that the matter is fully investigated and to work with the Department of Justice to prosecute those responsible for any crimes.
Kind of insane to hear that there was so much reporting of this. And it was probably a mix of, why are you telling us? We know we're doing it. And yeah, that's just not a big deal. Let's just keep that away from everybody. AutoPen really went burr. Yeah, I would like to know exactly who was ruling in Biden's stead after his horrific mental decline, right? Like, there's no way that he was cognizant enough to know what he was doing by the end of his term. Fuck all will be done about it. It's like, I like hearing these things because it's relieving to know that you're not crazy, but it's also like, okay, now that they know what's happening, what will be done about it? Can we actually expect any kind of arrests, any kind of like justice served? Any kind of like, I don't know, repercussions for this? China used CCP assets in the US media and social media to incite 2020's BLM uprising. And this says, ahead of the 2020 presidential elections, China had extensive plans to utilize potential redacted and cyber operations to sway public opinion against the Trump administration and international opinion against the US government. The China plans were designed to exploit US societal fissures and vulnerabilities to influence US and other audiences and, by extension, US government decision-making. The plans addressed several scenarios, including military conflict between the US and China, as well as other potential crises. The redacted operations themes covered a broad range of topics to exploit what China perceived to be US fissures and vulnerabilities, perceived or real, including racial tensions, alleging that white people hate black people, inciting demonstrations and marches as evidence of racial divides, increasing the level of conflict between police and anti-racism activists, and feeding any sense that US law enforcement resents USG and people of color. Chat, what were those like anti-Islam marches that when we watched them on the stream, all of us were like, this feels very fucking fetty. This feels like not real people. That's the SPLC thing. Also the SPLC thing. Very true. Was it Jake Lang? Is that his name? Might have been him. Jake Lang? Yeah, okay. Because I remember when we first watched those, I was like, this guy is saying things that are like so inflammatory and just weird. Like the way that he says them feels like very abnormal. I wonder if we still see those after this is released. It's probably real. But if he never does one of those marches again, I'm, gonna be a little suspicious. You will never guess his religion. I'm pretty sure if Jake Lang is the one I'm thinking of, we pulled up a picture of him kissing the wall. Given how many elements supported the BLM stuff, you wonder how much China moved anything, or whether they were just bandwagon jumping for the sake of it. Communists will always do what they can to exploit vulnerabilities in their enemies, and so even if China had nothing to do with the initial funding and bringing up, which I don't think they did, of Black Lives Matter, it's just another way for them to throw money at something to defeat their enemies. Glows too much, a little bit. You thought he Mormon? I don't know about Mormon, but I know we pulled up a picture of either him or Cam Higbee kissing the wall, but I think it was Jake Lang. USG tensions with the US military, political party disagreements, Congress Trump administration conflicts, women's rights, U.S. South China Sea policies, alleged U.S. war aspirations, and international propaganda. The rest of these are a little vague. China had developed capabilities to project themes on these topics into social media, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and others, as well as mainstream media through a variety of overt and hidden influencers and media contributors. One of the options included gathering information on senior U.S. government officials to influence public opinion of those officials. Really makes you wonder how many people are actually bought and paid for by foreign governments trying to influence things in our country, and how many are willing to sell out their country and fellow countrymen for like a couple $1,000. Lily Tang Williams saying, President Trump just laid out serious new details from the White House on Chinese Communist Party efforts to interfere in our elections, including compromised voter data. As someone who escaped communist China, I know their tactics well. We must fully investigate and hold those responsible accountable and protect our elections from foreign threats. Thank you, Mr. President, for putting this on the table. America first means secure elections. And she's absolutely right. If we don't hold people accountable, if we don't get more names out of these files that have been released, if there's no repercussions for any of the people for doing this shit, not only is it going to continue happening, but it's going to get worse. Lily Tang responding to another tweet here, the other tweet saying, the Chinese embassy in the U.S. denied President Trump's accusation of election interference. Of course they did. It's not as if the PLA or CCP intelligence agencies report everything they're doing to the Chinese Foreign Ministry. And the screenshot says, statement on election interference from the Embassy of the People's Republic of China. China has all along adhered to the principles of non-interference in other nations' internal affairs. The U.S. election is an internal matter of the U.S. Its outcome is determined by the votes of the American people. China has never and will never interfere in the presidential elections of the U.S. Anyone who believes this should literally never be allowed to handle responsibility beyond like watching a plant and having to water it occasionally. Because if you believe what China says, you're not really human. The Chinese embassy is just straight lying. They constantly interfere. Yeah. And Lily saying, well, U.S. mainstream media seems to accept the CCP's official narratives. Remember their COVID-19 talking points. China is asshole. True. She has another one here. She had an interview about Chinese birth centers.
Give birth to passport babies?
It's a huge industrial complex now for those people. That's why we need more bilingual people to work with our government, to work with state level, and to investigate, to shut them down. They have to somehow register with the Secretary of State to conduct the business. So you need to know exactly what kind of business that is and what they're doing here, and then follow up. I'm glad Compilation is doing that, but he said he already found 4 in Texas, but just the 10 in Houston. They have a Chinese name, so it's hard to know sometimes, and for Americans to recognize what they're doing. And the cost is very high. This is designed for the rich people, the high CCP officials.
And Lily Tang saying, China could change the U.S. election outcomes in just a few years when all of the anchor babies turn 18 years old and move back to vote. It is part of the CCP's soft power invasion legally due to our birthright citizenship. I've been warning America for years. And this is just, again, her thanking for the interview, talking about the Chinese birth centers that are all over the U.S. She specifically mentioned some in Texas. The Smith Act, 1940, was not enforced and harsh enough. There should be zero tolerance for commies and communism tactics in America. There should be. We should not be having to fight the subversive warfare shit, because we should just have men being like, that's a communist. We're not going to have you serve as a politician. Get the fuck out. Like, we just need people to do these things so we can have a functioning nation again. Only legal because of Barrett. Imagine. Anchor baby citizenship has to go. Anchor baby citizenship is how all other nations can subvert our own. It is insane. Insanity. Before the president gets on television tonight to peddle lies and conspiracy theories, here's what you need to know. The 2020 election was not stolen. We won and he lost. Well, those papers paint a bit of a different story. The SAVE Act is voter suppression. No, it's not. It's part of a larger agenda of conservatives trying to steal power from the people. The people who it would suppress are people who should not be voting. Illegals should not be voting. Donald Trump and his administration have done nothing to bring down the cost of housing. We need mass deportations, healthcare, childcare, food, or gas. Donald Trump and his administration got America into a war the people do not want. He is attempting to distract you from that reality. He did fuck up. He did fuck up there, in my opinion, because he did promise no more wars, and then he was like, okay, well, let's get involved, and Israel was like, yeah, we asked him to, and it's like, why are we doing Israel's bidding, man? Come the fuck on. The president is scared of your power. He wants you to believe your vote does not matter. The president is scared of communists, as any rational human would be. He wants you to lose confidence in our electoral system, so you stay home this November. Nobody has confidence in the electoral system anymore. That's already down the fucking drain. Everyone knows the system is compromised, and everyone knows nothing is being done about it. So, you know, like 75% of black people want voter ID. These people are scum. Yeah, absolutely. Because if the people vote in their numbers, Republicans will lose. Absolutely not. If we had no illegals voting, if we had no fudging of the voter rolls, if we had no fucking issues with China interfering, I don't think that would be the case. Getting rid of illegals, being able to vote, would make our votes matter more. It would. It would. Illegals being able to vote devalues your votes. When the fuck do you mean this November? He still has 2 more years. This November is the fucking midterms. I couldn't remember the name. This November is the midterm. So she's saying, like, you need to get in there and vote more Democrats into seats. And it's like, if you don't currently realize that your options are get involved in your local politics and float a candidate that actually will do something, vote for a do-nothing Republican, or vote for Democrats that want to kill you. Those are your choices. It's get involved and get someone elected that actually wants to do shit, vote for Republicans who will do jack shit, or vote for Democrats who want to kill you. Those are your options. And it's not a very good slate. And unfortunately, as we've seen, there are now even like YouTubers like that Ohio guy who are going to try and run and fake a campaign just so they can get more eyes on their actual YouTube content. And it's like, don't make a fucking mockery of our electoral system any more than it's already been made a mockery of. What the fuck is wrong with you? When you cut through it all, here's what she's saying. The SAVE Act stops our illegal voter base from voting and will cause us to lose our elections. We created a whole bunch of issues and we will accuse the GOP of being the issue while we propose fake solutions that just give the communist agenda more power. That's a great translation. I know things are heavy right now. We have a lot of work to do. Voting is one important step we can take to make our voices heard, prove that we're still in this fight, and put a real check on the corrupt and cruel administration. Man. If she were a level 3 autist, she would have said, don't watch the speech on TV because he's going to tell you what we've been doing. All the secret and overt illegal stuff. Please ignore him and continue to believe our eyes. Or our lies, rather. Jesus Christ. Maine Senate candidate Ashley Webb says his songwriting capabilities qualify him for the U.S. Senate. Webb is seeking to replace Graham Platner as the Dem U.S. Senate nominee. I'm going to have to hear these songs before I decide if he's qualified. Did you not want to vote for a Democrat nominee who had Nazi tattoos and sexual assault allegations? Well, you're just in luck. Now you can vote for a man who thinks he's a woman and also thinks bleeding from his anus is a period. Yay!
Ashley Webb, what qualifications do you have to serve in the U.S. Senate?
Oh, I ran for office several times. Didn't win, but I did run. And then I'm a songwriter, and then I write my own books. And then I suppose my transparency, I wouldn't lie to the people and I wouldn't deceive the people like we're being deceived right now. Like,
I wouldn't lie to the people and I wouldn't deceive the people, says the overt autogynephiliac on the stage that has henchman physiognomy. This guy should be in a basement laboratory with a crazy old man, not on a stage going to the Senate. What are we doing? Here's another video. Ashley Webb, a Democrat contender to replace Graham Platner for U.S. Senate. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. We just want health care, shoots another podcaster.
And then with the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
Right.
Who would assault you, for one? And for two, why does this guy's, like, inflection make him sound like an Idiocracy character? Right? Just follow me for a second, chat. I'm gonna hit play, and I want you to imagine Like, you're inside the Costco in Idiocracy.
And then with the trans community, like, we're being dehumanized. They say that we want to hurt people. I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want to use the bathroom. And if they want me to use the men's room, I will, but I don't want to be assaulted.
Are electrolytes what autogynephiliacs crave, dear sir? Oh my God. Here's another interesting thing here. Colin Wright saying Maine Democrat Ashley Webb, who said he would not lie or deceive people, claims in Reddit post that he ovulates and has a monthly period. But because he has external male parts instead of quote unquote the proper hole. Remember when they were trying to call a real vagina hole a front hole? Remember that? Instead, the proper hole, the period blood comes out of his anus. Despite being karyotyped as XY, he says he's pretty positive I am the XX type. He also believes he has female quote-unquote internal organs, although CAT scans have turned up nothing. Colonoscopies have also failed to validate a connection with a supposed hidden uterus. These are some r/New Hampshire, stop dehumanizing New Hampshire immigrants and trans people. I guess his fucking handle was Sparky603. Oh man. Sparky's wings are really fucking good. I only like the boneless ones, but highly recommend going to Sparky's, bro. They're a Phantom Gourmet starred restaurant that's a literal fucking hole in the wall, dude. My anus is bleeding! I remember that flash. Anyways, this guy says, I am trans, my pronouns are she, her, they use God a lot as a reason. What? However, their God made me the way that I am, and their behavior is going against their God's wishes. I was born in a way that my body produces male-level testosterone and female-level estrogen. My estrogen fluctuate like a woman's estrogen does. I have a cycle in which I get monthly cramping like pain accompanied with bleeding. I ovulate as well. The doctors and specialists are baffled. FYI, my birth certificate says I am a male. Clearly God screwed up big time when making me. My karyotype came back XY, so these people don't get to say I am a biological woman. Nobody is calling you a biological woman. What? You think this one is genuinely delusional? Yeah, this is probably a little bit of schizophrenia and other mental illnesses mixed in with a bit of fetishism. Let's see, this other post, r/Helena, transgender bathroom restrictions take effect as Montana governor signs law. Bro, why is this Maine person in, like, New Hampshire and fucking Montana subreddits? When I am having this monthly period pain, and it is not too bad, I feel something in my right side about where my appendix is located and something above the bladder. When the monthly pain is real bad, I'm feeling something in both my right and left side above my bladder. When you don't have the proper hole, it finds one of two exits.
You what?
This deranged individual thinks he has a phantom female reproductive system hidden near his appendix, and so he gets monthly periods that bleed out through his anus because there's no proper hole. What in the derangement am I fucking reading? It's people like this that made it so my gynecologist wanted to focus on trans medicine. It's just free money. It's just free real estate. Jesus. The guy in China was lucky and the exit was his bladder. Me, on the other hand, was not so lucky. I don't know what he means by the guy in China was lucky, but chat, if you are a bepenised individual and blood starts coming out of your penis, go to the fucking doctor. You're not a woman with a hidden fucking reproductive system that's giving you a period. That's not uterus lining shedding out there. That's a medical problem. Go to the fucking doctor. I'm pretty sure peeing blood is way worse. My exit connection was made with my colon. What the fuck does that mean? This is like some head system bullshit. Because when I get this monthly pain, that is where the blood comes out of. If you're bleeding from your anus every month, holy fuck, go to the doctor. What are you doing? I hate doctors, and if my anus was bleeding, I'd be going to one. Intersex like us don't get diagnosed till our now he's claiming he's intersex. Come the fuck on, man. Haven't the intersex people suffered enough? It's just like they always get brought up as this talking point, and it's like that has nothing to do with you. They're not in any way, shape relatable. Where were we? Intersex like us don't get diagnosed till our 20s, as we tend to not be born with extra holes. The vaginal hole is not an extra hole. That's literally meant to be there. What are you talking about? What? This man's watched Bible Black too many times.
Be serious, you dumb girl.
The bonus hole strikes again. I didn't get diagnosed in my 20s because I was dealing with incompetent doctors who preferred to prescribe opiate painkillers rather than find the problem. Can I get his doctor? Because, like, hold on, wait a minute. That would have solved my problems way faster. How dare you? Bible Black is art. Yeah, but in Bible Black, the women grow penises and still have a vagina, and that sounds like how he thinks this works.
Good night, everybody.
Pretty positive I am the XX type, except I got internal organs, unless what I am feeling are tumors that just happen to grow where those sorts of organs usually are. Was also born with external male parts. So even though up here he says my karyotype came back XY, down here he says pretty positive I'm XX. And this is another one in the same thread replying to the same guy as before. I don't like talking about the monthly rectal bleeding because when I talk about it to doctors, it tends to get my colonoscopies that turn up nothings. And talking about the pain gets me CAT scans that turn up nothing. FYI, CAT scans can't find a uterus and ovaries when they enter your gender as male. They use different scanning processes for females. This guy's just fucking crazy. This guy's just insane. But Reddit lies here. Ashley Webb claimed to be a 26-year-old 5'6" woman. 5'6"? Bro is taller than everyone else on this stage. And unless these are all like Jewish pygmies, there's no way he's 5'6". Ashley is a 6 foot 40-year-old. But chat, he said he would never lie to you. Chat, he said he would never lie. Can someone tell me if my ovaries look normal? ER said everything looked fine, but the pain persists. 26 female, 5'6", about 200 pounds. I feel like this looks like bigger than 200 pounds too, but I mean, he's already lying about his gender and his age and his height, so what's one more, right? Non-smoker, no regular medications except Midol during periods, chronic lower abdominal pain tied to my cycle. Went to the ER recently, CAT scan, I'm assuming a CT, done. They said everything was normal, no follow-up offered. I went to the ER recently with sharp lower abdominal pain during my cycle. They ran a CT scan, told me everything looked normal, and just said to go home, take Midol, and use a heating pad. The pain has continued, so I looked at the scan myself and marked what I believe are my ovaries. Bro's got like a fucking wishbone, and he's like, yep, them's ovaries. I just want to make sure nothing is wrong with my ovaries. I want to be a mom. Does he think that's gonna fool anyone? That does not look like an ovarian system with fallopian tubes. The top comment here on the side. How is this person allowed to run or even be treated as a serious candidate? They have no chance of being elected, and now they're the punching bag of the internet. Sad state of affairs. This is why your medical care and insurance cost so much. I think, like, what's even making me angrier is, as a biological woman who has had issues with pain for a very long time, and who didn't have doctors take me seriously, and I didn't get any serious care until I went to a fucking chiropractor who actually knew how to look at x-rays. This guy lying about all of this and wasting doctors' time makes me incredibly fucking mad. This guy needs a straitjacket and padded cell. Yeah, absolutely, dude. You want to believe this is a troll, but you know they really are just this crazy and you hate it? Nobody would even be talking about this if he wasn't running to replace Graham Platner. This isn't a troll. This is the guy. This is what he looks like. This is what he's doing. I don't even know how anyone could still be like, well, it's a troll post at this current year. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Andy Nyo here, saying he can reveal the real identity of Ashley Webb, the Maine trans leftist running to replace Graham Platner as the Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate. His real name is James Charles Webb, and he's born August 1983. On his Substack, he admits to being a biological male, but his social media writings reveal a long history of posts where he claims to have female anatomy, like ovaries. Webb's Senate campaign logo is a parody mocking Turning Point USA. It kind of makes me think of the Geckomon Digimon. I think it's weird when you post images of someone as a kid. Right, like, as much as I think this guy is a weird, degenerate freak, posting an image of him as a child is is strange. Like, if this was a mugshot, sure, whatever, but it looks like a yearbook photo. That's fucking weird. May 2026, I contacted the hospital compliance officer requesting med record for an OBGYN and obstetrician who are listed on my care team from 2013 to present. I'm a biological male, so yes, I find this alarming. How would you find this alarming? Because they wouldn't be on your care team unless you requested them. What is he talking about? Ashley J. Webb for Senate, Truth Point USA. Take no prisoners and authorized by Ashley J. Webb. What the fuck? What the fuck? I don't think I've seen an image of any other politician as like a literal child besides maybe J.D. Vance. Like, I've seen Trump and Clinton as like teenagers when they were like in college. I've seen that, but I haven't seen like child photo. Clinton had the one infamous post where she posted herself as a kid saying happy birthday day to the future president. What? Hillary did this little girl will grow up to be president before she lost. If she's posting it herself, I guess that's less weird, but still odd. Let me make shirts similar to the last trans Maine Senate candidate. I'm still so upset. The one time I wanted to give a communist money and I couldn't. I was so mad, dude. Domestic bliss. Home weddings are now legal after outdated laws have been rewritten. The MOJ proposes shakeup allowing ceremonies by authorized officials to be held in any venue. Couples will be allowed to marry in family homes, back gardens, and beaches under an overhaul of outdated marriage laws. The Ministry of Justice is to consult on plans to allow authorized officiants of any religion or belief to conduct a wedding in any venue in the biggest shakeup of marriage law since the 19th century. Under the change, authorized officiants would be able to conduct weddings in any safe and dignified location, from forests and beaches to castles, canal boats, and even cruise ships at sea. The option of less elaborate venues can help cut wedding costs, which currently average more than £20,000, of which £6,000 is the price of finding a venue. Couples will also be able to personalize their wedding service by choosing the vows, rituals, and songs, as well as blending aspects of different religions in their ceremonies. The faith-based changes also mean that Islamic marriage ceremonies will be legally recognized in the UK for the first time. Currently, an Islamic religious marriage ceremony called a nikah and held in a mosque is not legally recognized, and couples must have a separate civil ceremony at a recognized venue. A relaxation in the law during the COVID-19 pandemic allowed outdoor weddings, although they had to be at venues that were already licensed. The changes were recommended by the Law Commission, which ruled that the current confusing, out-of-date, and restrictive regulations needlessly prevented many couples from marrying in a place that is meaningful to them or having a ceremony reflecting their own wishes and beliefs. David Lammy, the Justice Secretary, said, "They say you can't put a price on love, but too often the cost of weddings puts this commitment out of reach. That's why I'm reforming archaic rules so couples have more freedom to say I do on their own terms, while strengthening safeguards to protect the meaning and permanence of marriage. It will be the responsibility of officiants, vicars, registration officers, or otherwise authorized persons in a place of worship to deem whether couples have chosen a suitable location for a ceremony. The reforms will also ensure universal rules for all weddings, irrespective of religion or belief. The current system treats certain faiths and belief groups differently, meaning some couples must choose between a ceremony that reflects their beliefs and one that gives them full legal protection. Under the proposed system, couples will have greater freedom to create ceremonies. For example, interfaith couples could celebrate both faiths and traditions in a single, legally recognized ceremony. The 250K is about to get a buff. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Child marriages are going to be significantly increased now. I'm glad you guys are noticers, bro. A civil ceremony could have hymns and prayers incorporated into it as long as it remained identifiably civil. If permitted by the government, non-religious groups such as humanists could have weddings on the same basis as religious organizations. Whilst giving couples greater freedom, the MOJ insisted there would be safeguards to protect against forced or predatory marriages. These are likely to include a requirement that the registration officer holds in-person interviews with each partner separately before approving the marriage. That's not going to protect shit, buddy. Officiants themselves will have to meet strict requirements to be able to conduct weddings. They will also determine whether a location is suitable for a ceremony and could be deauthorized if they fail to uphold standards. Around 470,000 people marry in England and Wales each year. The reforms could also boost the economy, with the Law Commission estimating a 3% increase in the number of weddings, which could generate around $139 million in additional annual spending. I mean, yeah, if they have like, what did they say it cost? Like 6,000 pounds just for the venue? If you open this up to more venues, like, yeah, more people spending less money will increase the total amount of money spent. That's kind of how that works. Far more than a legal formality, Baroness Levitt Casey, the Justice Minister, said the institution of marriage is a cornerstone of British life, and a wedding is far more than a legal formality. It is often one of the most important days of a couple's life. But we know that the law isn't working equally for everyone. No one should have to choose between a ceremony that honors their faith, culture, and traditions, and one that gives them legal protection. These proposals untie outdated restrictions so all couples can officially tie the knot in a way that feels right for them. Jonathan Hobbs, managing director of Hobbs River Cruises in Henley, said the change could reverse a decline in the wedding business. We welcome this proposed change of law as our wedding business has declined for the last 20 years, as organizers have wanted a one-stop shop venue where the service and reception take place together. The amount of wedding businesses we've lost over this period, when the organizers realize the service can't take place aboard, is considerable. And I think opening up venues to being able to get married anywhere is fine. That would be fine. But the thing here is about Islamic marriage ceremonies being legally recognized in the UK for the first time. And this is immediately what snapped my head back to this article that we covered in October of last year. Pakistani migrant who was deported after impregnating a 16-year-old schoolgirl and wedding her in a sham marriage applies for family visa to return to Britain. Them now legally recognizing Islamic marriages is going to make it much more difficult for these people to circumvent the system. For once, the "do you have a license for that" actually helped the British people. Imagine that. You know, that's the meat of the whole thing, deftly hidden in a wall of text pretty fucking much, unfortunately. Unfortunately so. Migrants arriving in England illegally now get free driving lessons courtesy of the British taxpayer.
Go and to another car. But if the line become like this, broken. Yeah.
I think that's time. Okay. If you have a broken line, you can overtake. Yeah. If you have one white line.
Instead, they'll ask you to pull up on a quiet road and say, "Shortly I shall ask you to carry out an emergency stop. When I give this signal, stop. I'd like you to stop as quickly and as safely as possible. Before giving the signal, I shall look round to make sure it's safe. But please wait for my signal before doing the exercise."
I know this is Britain, so it doesn't apply, but maybe we really do need to repeal the 19th, because what the fuck? This was supposed to be a driving class. What the fuck am I watching? What the is this like the illegal immigrant version of the fucking girl boss dance? What? I just like, what are these women fucking doing? Why are they treating these whole ass adults like fucking children?
Will finish. Well, ambitious, compassionate.
I was wondering if they were even speaking English because I couldn't understand the words any of them were saying, not even the teacher. What the fuck? Compassionate person showing sympathy. They don't know what that means! We had a patriotic Restore Britain member person. It's like, my son can't start yet because he has to save up for lessons. This makes my blood boil. Why are they getting it for free? Might just be the 65 IQs. Your driving instructor was a mountain of a man, and that dude would make kids get out and hug the stop signs they ran when teaching. That's a funny move. Foreign concepts like maintenance, right? Right? Tempe, Arizona police are searching for whoever destroyed a massive 15-foot LED crescent moon Ramadan display on, quote, a mountain. The Muslim student group symbol was crushed and left in ruins. No suspects yet. Resistance to Islamization is growing.
Tempe police are looking for who's responsible for allegedly vandalizing a Ramadan display on A Mountain. A group of students put up the 15-foot crescent moon on A Mountain at the start of Ramadan, a sacred month of fasting, prayer, and charity for Muslims.
No, it was just the wind. It was an act of God saying, you're not putting up these symbols in this country. This symbol, I would be willing to put money on a fucking bet, and I'm very Jewish. I don't like spending money willy-nilly, man. I would be willing to bet this was put up. Not as a, well, there's a peaceful symbol of our religion. It's a, we've conquered you, and this is a symbol of us conquering you.
For Muslims. But on the final nights of the holy period, police say it was found vandalized and knocked down. The damage estimated at around
I'm Jewish spiritually. I like not spending money.
$20,000.
We understand that this could be upsetting. What we want our community to know is that the Tempe Police Department, in this case, in any property-related situation, takes these incidents seriously, and we will hold people accountable.
Tempe Police.
Okay, the way she said accountable sounded like cannibal, and I was like, wait a minute.
Tempe police say there's no known threat to the public, and they're asking anyone with information to call police.
So since this was a student union, where did they get $20,000 to put up a 15-foot LED crescent moon? Who gave them the crusades were based? That's a great top response. Why is there a massive 15-foot LED crescent moon Ramadan display in Arizona? Well, you know, the wind saw to it that there wouldn't be. She's holding them a cannibal. She's gonna feed them to the cannibals. Don't do that.